Flosstube, it's Sean here, Periwinkle Stitcher. Today is Saturday, the 28th of March, and I'm sorry I've been away for so long. I've forgotten what you all look like. I hope everyone's well. I've been very busy. I've been away on holiday for 2 weeks, got back on Monday, and something has happened every day. I've had builders in, knocking out the plaster under the stairs for under the stairs cupboard. I've had my cupboard built upstairs in one of the bedrooms for all my crafty stuff. So it's a mess. There's dust and chippings all over the place. And I kind of need to have, you know, a mega clean out and move all my things into the craft room. But if I thought, right, this is the first little window of opportunity I've got. Saturday morning, I think it's 11 o'clock. The day's just getting away from me. But basically, all my things have been on the ironing board for 2 days. And I'm dying to get back this weekend to do some stitching on Lotty because I've hardly touched her. So I thought, right, I need to film. It's been about 6 weeks, so I've got an awful lot of stuff to share with you. In terms of life updates, it's a really busy time for the family as well because Harriet's, as you know, getting married in July. So she'll be back over, I think all my girls are coming back the weekend after Easter. So the 10th, and we're going to have like a lovely day in town getting our dresses to the right length, you know, shortened at the little seamstress lady in town. And we're going to celebrate our belated Mother's Day and have brunch at the Ivy and do all that. So I'm super excited. I'm going to see them in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, I just want to get back to my stitching, you know, and sort my craft room out. I'm very excited to try and get everything in one place. Harriet's just passed her, or got her certificate for her member of the Royal College of Physicians. So she took the big exam. Well, there's a number of exams. I think she's taken the absolute final one now. So she's an MRCP, which is amazing. So she can carry on her training in London to become a specialist in infectious disease, because that's what she wants to kind of, you know, really specialise in now. And so at the moment she's working at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, which is just about the most wonderful training you can get in the UK for infectious disease. So she's seeing all sorts of wild and wonderful you know, infections, and is in full PPE a lot of the day. So bless her, you know, but the team are amazing. It's all the cutting edge research there. So she's done great. And Topsy is in the middle of revising for her finals now in her 4th year. So when she finishes, I think she's done for Easter. She's going off to Amsterdam for Easter. With her friends. They were out celebrating last night because they finished their big presentation and their exams. So she'll be a pharmacist then, and she'll be coming home next year to live with me while she's doing her sort of practical training in an actual GP practice and a pharmacy here in Cardiff. So she's got her top placement choice, which is amazing because she's done so well in her exam results. So yeah, Topsy's going to be a prescribing practitioner, I think you call them, because they actually now in the UK can prescribe medication and sort of help out the GP. So it's all going on. And my dad's on the mend and just brought me a load of washing down. So it's busy. And I've missed you all. So it's good to be back. I feel a bit disorganised and all over the place. So here's hoping I can stick to my notes. I've got a lot to share with you. So I thought I'd start off by showing you what I've brought out. I put all my Valentine's stuff away, and I've got some Easter. I've got my little bowl here. I won't show you my spring ones. I'll do that in 2 weeks when I come back to get back onto my routine of sort of middle of the month updates. Yeah, I'm way behind for March with you, I know. So this is one little bowl that I made many years ago when I first got into stitching and discovered the kits at Shepherd's Bush, and I used to talk to the girls there, Tina, and we got quite friendly actually in lockdown, and she used to post me kits, so I would bulk them up and ship them all in, you know, one big box every now and again. So this was one of the fabulous ones. This is called Easter Trifles. So it all came in a lovely kit. It's all 32 count. It comes with the little tiny beads on the bottom there. And so this is Easter Parade. This, I had to look at what the linens were. So this is called Smoky Green. and it came with the backing fabric, came with the ribbon and the little beads to couch down, and I kind of followed the instructions that Tina said in the chart, and I filled this with sand. It feels like it's really floppy and very tactile, and I absolutely love it. This linen is like a sort of yellowy colour, like a sort of, it's not white chocolate, it's called fairy dust, and this gorgeous backing fabric of like almost little eggs, and a different hand-dyed seam ribbon, like a silky ribbon with the little different colour beads. So they're all different. That's a little like Easter basket with the egg button, and a little bit of back stitching on that one. And this is the cutest. I think this is my favourite. Is this Lavender Whisper? Something like that, the linen. 32 count. It's beautiful. It's a pale like lilac with the eggs and the little button. Egg Hunt is back stitched on that, and the same gorgeous fabric on the back. So I just put in a couple of the little wool felt things you can buy from the wool. Is it called the Wool Felt Company? There's Cloudscraft and the Wool Felt Company in the UK. You can get these in all different colours. So that is in my downstairs loo at the moment, and it's a little cute. It's one of my favourite things. I just love the Shepherd's Bush trifles. I've got the Christmas one, the Valentine's one. I've got a winter one, which I haven't done, and this Easter one. I just love the different colours of them all. So that's one finish that's up and around. Another little finish is this one, which is Brenda Gervais. Is it Easter Parade? I should have, I haven't got it. I think it is called, you know the one anyway. It's a book, and I think I've got one or two more to do. So I think I did one extra last year, but maybe the big one, I think I did 4 straight away, because I normally just keep going until they're all done. These are so cute. These are all backed with the same Tilda fabric, which I thought was a perfect match. And I'm trying desperately to think what the book's called. Anyway, I'm sure you all know. It's Brenda Javeet, and it's called, I want to say, Easter Parade. And with all DMCs on 40 count Brenda's Brew, which is the call for, and these wonderful little rabbits with lots of little details on. So like the little back stitching around the birds in the nest, and the lollipop, or the carrot lollipop. We've got the painter guy, the little rabbit. Yeah, there's so much cute detail on here. This little one, look at her bunny ears, and the carrots in the truck. Just so tiny on 40 count and so cute. Look at that. So I think I've got one more to go. So this still is classed in my whip list as an ongoing whip. So I was going to try and add one every year. And it might be in my plans. That's right. I think I did find the project bag where this is sitting. I've just got some little wooden eggs in there in my dough bowl, and a couple of felt balls. So yeah, really a lovely finish. Love that on the dark brown linen. So that's something else I've got up and about. And then, since I've seen you last, I've been really busy. So the first thing I finished since I saw you was I did do 2 more of my fabulous silk berry strawberries, velvet strawberries from Mary Jo Jaime. So this is the next kit of 5 that I've got to start on for next year. And thanks to everyone that went and supported Mary and her daughter Claire, because I think they were inundated with orders. And I know that Audrey and Jackie from Comfort Stitching, Audrey Stitch Bead, also showed them on their channels. I'm a bit behind on my Flosstubes, I'm afraid. So I think I made this one since I've seen you last. And I kind of got the whole process down, you know, with the making the ruff on the top. So this was so much fun. I tended to do this when the rugby matches were on, and so these are the other 2 beautiful ones, because I did the red one first, And then all these slightly different colours, all the beads are different. And it was just hugely rewarding. So they sit in this cute little bowl, and I'm going to leave these up actually because they're not just for Valentine's. These are really pretty to have up through the summer. So I made 2 more velvet strawberries since I saw you last, which I was really pleased with. And obviously next year I'm going to be excited to get back to that. Then I had a couple of other finishes. I've got 3 finishes. Oh, this is another one that I love. I thought I'd share with you. I made as soon as it came out. This is Stacy Nash. I want to say it's tulip something. Tulip Fields, Pinky. And I remember going down to the cowslip workshop 2-3 years ago, whenever the first one was, and I'd finished a cracker, and I was literally sewing this together an hour before I left to go down the M5 to Cornwall. And this is just beautiful. I just love these blue, I can't remember what that gorgeous colour thread is, but it is so pretty. And a little rabbit, and then the nest with the blue dolphin eggs on the top. And I filled this with sand, and this is on 36 count weeks beige. It's the old, loose one, but it just works with the sand or walnut shells probably in there. So that's one of my favourite things that I always have out. And then, but I finished that years ago. So since I saw you last, remember I'd started this one. So this is Samplers Not Forgotten. One of the kits that you can get every year at market, she releases a new kit. I did manage to get the new one, and this was key to my heart. Loads of people have finished this. I want to say Lisa Kindred Stitcher. I want to say Laurie Textilist, and Hobbies of Holly, I fancy, have finished that. So it came as a kit with all the thread you needed, and there was plenty of it. It came with this beautiful blue backing fabric, and the little ribbon, and the little token charm key, and it is so pretty. I just love this finish. So this is on 36 count. Again, I think it's the old weeks beige, and it came with this little ribbon. Is it ribbon? What do you call it? It's like a sort of little crochet finish, like a rickrack type thing. And I tried my best to sew it with the machine into the seam. So it isn't perfect, but it's good enough for me. And I think next time I do it by hand, because it was quite hard to turn it out, and get it perfectly matched up. But it's a pretty good shape, and I'm really pleased with it. So that's a new finish for Valentine's that I can put out next year. I just love that gingham effect. It's the first thing I've ever stitched like that, and I think it's really pretty, and it was quite a quick stitch. So that's one finish for this month. Then the next finish I had was this kit I had last year at market called the Garden Needle Case by Shepherd's Bush. Sue at Peakside managed to get this as a kit, and I stitched it, pretty much started it straight away and then forgot all about it. So it came with everything in it, including the rickrack for you to sort of couch down with these little beads. And this is what it looks like. So this is the outside, and you fold it in half. And it's so cute. It says, sew a garden stitch by stitch along the bottom, and then there are little words within the stitching itself. So it says plant, it says grow at the top. It's got little buttons, loads of back stitching, which actually I don't mind at all. Tiny little bees. Bloom is above the house there with the sunflowers, and that says nurture. I don't know if it looks backwards in the camera. I hope that's going to come out the right way. Nurture and bloom, grow, and down there on the stem it says care. Just so fun. And so I'll be using that. And then inside, Shepherd's Bush give you the lining fabric, they give you the green rickrack, and all the little beads and the felt and everything, the buttons, to just pin the little buttons around the edge. So yeah, that's really cute. So that'll be going in one of my project bags, and I'll be using it. And I love these little practical finishes that Shepherd's Bush do, or, you know, lots of other places do those kits. And then this is my probably most exciting finish since I saw you last. So you'll remember I picked this up down at Cowslip last year in May, is it, when we went down? And this is called Spring Parade Sewing Box, and I think it's just been released at market. So we were given the full kit and everything was in it. And I did see and take some pictures of Stacey's finish, so I knew how I wanted to finish it. So this is the beginning of the box. This, I want to say, I forgot to look at the linen. It's on Blackberry Primitives, Portbury Beige, that's right, 36 count Portbury Beige. It's a beautiful colour, it's quite dark, so the white, look at the little duck holding the flag. And then as you turn it, you've got the leaping rabbit in the middle. And remember, I finished the leaping rabbit sewing pouch from the, oh no, it was the same retreat. So it's very similar leaping rabbit to that, just perfect for this time of the year. And then the gorgeous big sheep stitched in cattail. So yeah, it took a lot of stitching. After I saw you last, I kept going on this, so it feels like this was ages ago. I was stitching on this 6 weeks ago. And then what I did, I've just got some lovely, I think these are from Nancy, 5 Times Blessed, my old lovely buttons that she does. Picked that up when I was at the attic in her pop-up shop. And then Stacey gives you the card and a little papier-mâché 3-inch box. So you get the lining to make the bottom and to make the little disc to insert here. So you cover that separately with a bit of foam wadding. I've got some lovely new Farmer's Daughter fabric from Lotty in there. I just thought it was a nice sort of brown floral to go with the linen. And then you cover the bottom in a separate disc and sort of just whip stitch it onto the bottom to hide your, you know, you could just glue it down, couldn't you, with a Pritt stick or whatever glue, and then just leave it raw, no one would see. But Stacey says to just whip it onto the bottom, another little disc of padded, actually, is that padded? Maybe not even padded, that one. But this one's quite puffy inside. And then what I did was you have your long piece of cardboard and you just make enough fabric to cover that. And again, all your raw edges are tucked inside, and then you do like a herringbone stitch to catch it along the top. So it's really lovely and padded. And I copied Stacey's idea of doing a little patchwork. So I did tiny little 1.5 inch squares in some of my new lovely Lotty fabrics. And yeah, I just thought it was fun to do some bright colours inside for spring. So I've got some little bits, you know, you can just pop your little scissors in there, and that's going to sit on the desk. And it reminded me a little bit of an old finish I did maybe 2 years ago, which I also picked up from Stacy Nash down at Cowslip, this gorgeous little box that she did. Now, is it her mum that makes the boxes? Yeah, and there was a little beeswax bumblebee from her daughter. Her mum made the box, so it's 3 generations, and Stacey had done the little sparrow sewing kit. And so I just put some beads, some old, you know, horn beads on an old sort of rusty pin and put it in there. So that's Stacy Nash little sparrow sewing kit, something like that, even though I think mine looks like a robin. And that's on 36 count. I think it's Ligonier Latte, I want to say, because it's a grey cream by R&R. A lovely linen. I don't think I've got any more of that, and I don't think you can get it very easily now. So Northgate Needlecraft was where I got my Ligonier Latte in the UK. If you ever need some odd R&R linens, she does get them. So those were all my finishes since I saw you last, which I was really, really pleased with. Oh no, I've got one more, which isn't a fully finish, it's just a finish. So do you remember my lovely friend Maureen Abramson from Maureen's Craft Cottage? She's been very, very kind to me over the couple of years I've been floss tubing. She sent me some beautiful Jane Austen little, you know, Riley Blake scissor pulls and things from, because she's got a lovely shop, so please go and support Maureen online. And she went to the, she managed to get this, which was an exclusive for the Sampler Guild of the Rockies Club, I want to say. So Maureen managed to get 2 of these charts, and she sent me this because I love everything Plum Street. So this is called Happy Day. It's sort of a patriotic stitch, but what I did was I did do the flag, but I didn't do the date at the top because I wasn't sure what Paulette was celebrating there for 30 years. So I just did the adaptation that she said on the back, where you can make little flowers instead. So this was stitched, right, I couldn't get affogato, or could I? I can't remember now. I've got a feeling I stitched mine on Legacy, but it could be one of them. I ran out of affogato and had to use Picture This Plus Legacy because they're very, very similar. And I stitched mine on 40 count. I think it might be affogato actually. So here's my finish using all the called for. Just beautiful. I think I might have started it when I saw you last. I might have done the leaping hair in the middle. There's a lot of stitching. I took it on holiday. I've got a little picture of me on the plane, and I literally had started filling in some of the flowers under the rabbit here. And I did Happy Day on the aeroplane, that's right, going out on holiday. So I did a lot of stitching on this. There's quite a few different colours, and a brand new favourite green. Instead of Oscar and Olive by Weeks, this is Pickled Ochre, which I think is also by Weeks. It is. It's a gorgeous, like, very similar to Oscar, a kind of like a yellow green, you know. It works really, really well with these, so many different blues in the stars, in the quilt stars, and the little flag there. So there we are, that's my finish, and it's quite cute and small on 40 count, so it's not going to cost me too much to get a little frame for that. And I'll be able to have that for the summer. So that was an FFO. And I thought today, I think it's been released at market, but I'm happy to share my copy of the chart. So this will be giveaway number 1 today, if you would like that. And place, and guys, thanks so much for everyone that likes and comments and subscribes. I get such lovely comments after I film. And it really is encouraging and spurs me on to keep going on some of the projects that maybe I've hit a wall with, or, you know, it makes me happy to think that you're stitching along with me at home. So please continue to like and subscribe. And when we hit 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to be making a little needlebook or doing something a bit special to share as a giveaway for that. So yeah, because I think it's a small number of people that subscribe, and I'm not sure why. Maybe people watch on TV and so it's not easy to click the subscribe thing, but please do, because it does help out. More people get to see your channel, and it just sort of helps my channel to keep growing and everything if you do subscribe. And it doesn't cost anything, it's totally free for you to do that. Okay, so then what am I going to do? I'm going to show you my book of days. You could tell I'm really out of practice, can't you? To show you what I've been working on. So I filmed last time on Friday the 13th, that's right. So then I did a load of stitching before I went away. I obviously finished a week's grits, and I know I finished a swamp water up here. I remember what I was stitching. So I finished quite a few threads again. I've done a caper. That was for the bottom of the little basket here. That dark green all along the bottom is Week's caper. So I've carried on sticking this was from my red box from Nicola that I'll try and remember to show you because I forgot last time. And this is from a little new subscription I've got from Tammy Black. And I also finished a nature trail, which I know that's along a bottom of one of my Plum Streets. So I didn't do much stitching when I was away for these 2 weeks. We went to the inn at English Harbour in Antigua. Oh my goodness, we couldn't get into Galley Bay because it was fully booked. Phil didn't think it was quite the same, but I really enjoyed going somewhere different. So it was fun, and the beach was just stunning. I don't think I've got pictures in at the end of it, but yeah, so then when I got back, I'd been gardening for 2 days. So the other morning I got out of bed after 2 days gardening, and honestly I could hardly move. I think sitting and stitching and going on holiday is not very good for you, is it? So that's my book of days. I've been keeping it quite religiously, and I find it really helpful before I'm going to film a Flosstube. So let me show you what I've been stitching on. I've got lots of whips to share. First, I always start with Lottie in my gorgeous bag made by Barry Stitch Folk, and she's just started making bags again and is really into it again. So she's got a new series called, is it Focus Project? I think that's what it's going to have on it. The panel will say Focus Project, because Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher, always has a focus piece for 7 days every month, and she just whips out some of her big old projects she's had for a long time, which is such a good idea, and I'd like to do it. For me at the minute, I think my focus project really is Lottie, that I try to do a little bit on every month. And here are the gorgeous week's thread that I chose for this project, and the fob showing that wonderful house. So this is Charlotte Warrington by Needlework Press, 1838, and mine is signed by Vicky on the back. And I haven't had that much progress because I've only worked on her for 1 day this month, but I think if you just chip away every month doing a little bit. So this time I worked down here, I finished the 2 flowers at the bottom, turned the corner, and this, wow, I was so happy because I took the red line down and around the corner, and I'm pretty confident that's going to meet up now. So I put in all the white little animals and finished the 3 colours, you know, the red, green and yellow coming down to the bottom. So I'm pretty sure when I drag my needle across the bottom, it looks like it's going to meet. So happy day indeed. So now I've got a load of crazy white animals. I mean, I'm not even sure what they are. One of them looks like a lion, but surely it can't be. I think this is a British pastoral scene. So yeah, we've got a few ox and cattle, maybe a dog and a couple of sheep probably coming now. So I've kind of finished a page off there because it's quite tricky to count, you know, when you come to the greyed out area. So I've stopped there so I don't make a mistake. And so now I'm really, really keen to finish off the white animals so I can do the, fill in some green grass there. So that's Lottie. If I forgot to say, she's on 40 count week straw, and I can't wait to get back to her. I had to film today because I'd really like to work on her later today. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be another release of that at some point. So if you wanted to get Charlotte, I think you could. Next project, I try to work on a little bit every month, at least a day. Well, they do get 1 day each. And this is in my gorgeous bag I made myself from Laurie Holt's Panels. I think this is in the Prairie range. And this is my Hands Across the Sea Welsh girl, Jane Banister, 1855. She's from Anglesey. She is beautiful. And this is the one that I am stitching in the Oversoir silks, which I keep in the bags because they do go a little bit fluffy. And there's my little scissor fob. I used to be so good at making those in the days before I Flosstubed, with the lovely little cards that Nicola always puts in with your thread legend. And so I'm stitching this on an unnamed Tabby Cat Sotomer Italian base linen, which is gorgeous. I've showed you this many times now. And this time I was going to try and bring the border, and then I thought, no, I need to start to tackle this huge sort of, what do you call it, motif. It's massive. It's a couple of cats playing down in the grass. And so it doesn't look much, but it is quite a lot of stitching. So that took me a whole day, a solid day of stitching. And look at the colours, so pretty. So there's a lot of different threads in there. It doesn't look it, but there are lots of colour changes. So I just need to keep chipping away at this now. Let me just show you. So here I am, right down in this, I haven't even started the cats. I'm right down here in the kind of whites and blues of this grassy bit. It's going to take, I don't know how long, but like Narissa says, one stitch at a time. And I really enjoyed it. And sort of once you pick a colour, you can sort of keep going across with it. And so I need to go in now and start to find the next colour. And then, is it called the typewriter method? Where you get a colour and you keep working with it until it's finished. So that's the sort of method that I've used to stitch that. Then another stitch that I do every month in my gorgeous Barry Stitch Folk bag with my Nancy 5x blessed little woolen strawberry. This is a fabulous stitch, Mani Di Donna, Eunice Tancarel, and this time I went in and did the exact copy. Actually, it's not exact, the colours were a little bit different, but it's very similar. It's like a little fruit basket. And this one I'm just stitching with the DMCs. And I do keep my DMCs in bags like that by number, so you kind of know roughly where they are. It really helps to keep organised. And I'm pretty sure Sharon De Silva gifted me that on one of the Nikki Franklin Stitchery retreat days we had at the Stitchery. And so here is my progress. Might fit on the board, Eunice. Such a lovely stitch. This is stitched on 40 count weeks cocoa, which is just beautiful. And this time, it doesn't fit. This time I did this basket here, that's right. So the colours within the basket, it took a lot of stitching. It's a day where you really need a full day. So last time I'd done that, and this time you can sort of see the colours are slightly different. There's a much brighter pink and a slightly different blue. And so that's my second basket. So if I pull it back, you can sort of see it's quite big. There's quite a lot of stitching in this. And I've got two foxes now to do here and here. And I think they're going to be similar. And then another motif in the middle. So there's a long way to go on this project. I'm not even sure, you know, I'm going to get this done this year, but I don't think like that. I'm not trying to, I'm definitely a process stitcher. I'm not in a hurry to have this finished and on my wall. I just love coming back to it every month. So I could take the border up and get those to meet, because I know they will. There's a little gold that I know matches right. So the border's going to meet, which is great. Or I could start filling in the fox on this side and then copy it over there. So yeah, loads of options now for me to do on Eunice, and what a fabulous cost-effective stitch this is. Yeah, the hardest thing is the chart, because it's very, very difficult to read. It's just black and white. So I've pulled this into GoodNotes, and any black and white chart, I find it really helpful to colour it in on GoodNotes, which is the app I told you about. It's totally free on your phone. And I've shown so many people at so many day things over the years how to upload GoodNotes. And look at this, don't I really desperately need a haircut? I'm trying to grow it for the wedding, because I thought I'd have it curled a little bit, you know, like a twisty curl. and it shrinks up. My hair's so thick, it sort of really shortens up if I curl it. So I need it quite long to be curled, but it's driving me mad. It's way too long. Right, next stitch. I did do a tiny bit. I did one day on the 25th on my Christmas stitch, which I keep in my lovely bag that Glynis, Nikki Franklin's mum from the Stitchery, she's such a clever seamstress. She made me this when I went down to my retreat at Christmas time in Cornwall. And I've got my little Nancy scissor fob on there. And so these are the threads with my little fob from Swindon 2025. Someone kindly gifted us. So these are the threads for my Christmas stitch. And you know what this is. This is Smoky Santa by Teresa Kogut, stitched on this beautiful linen by Blackberry Primitives, Tonya. 40 counts, called Fossil. And I just thought it would be perfect for this because of all the white blotches on it that do make it look kind of smoky. So here he is. This is such a fun stitch. Now, this time I took the stars up, finished the top of the coat here and did the sleeve, the cuff, and finished the white bit here. So now I've got a lot of fill in. I think this is all white beard. And now I can just fill in the coat with grey. So I've done this sort of tricky counting. And it was a little bit too big to take on holiday, but it would have been great because there's lots of fill-in to come now. But look at the features on his face and his pipe. Oh, he's so cute. Just love him. And I'm working on Pink Coat Santa, but I don't know why they're in the same bag. So on the 25th, I'm going to try and do a little bit. But at the moment, Smoky Santa's the one that calls me more. And I think this was released at market as well, wasn't it, by Teresa? And Pink Coat Santa was already available. So then the next project I've stitched on since I saw you in my lovely, this is a panel from Hands Across the Sea. Nicola's got quite a few of these that match the various charts that she sells. And this was made by Val at Patchwork Paw Print. And I've got my lovely fripperies from Minnie McBean's. And it matches the bag and it matches the chart. So you'll know what this is. This is a stitch along for this year. Maria Wales Newson, 1838. It's beautiful, but it's a lot of work. I managed to do my homework before I went on holiday, literally for the 5 days, because that's how long it took. It's broken down. You can see the first 3 months at the top were by far the sort of heaviest. I don't know, the house is going to take some stitching. So month 5 is going to be hectic. But month 4 is half the volume of work. So maybe 3 days to do that this month, which I'll need because I'm a bit behind, aren't I now? Because I'm filming so late. But anyway, I must do my post after this Flosstube on the Facebook group, because there is a Facebook group called #Maria Progress SAL, and you need to post in the Friends of Hands Across the Sea to be given a chance to enter the kind of competition thing. So it's Judy Hall, isn't it, that's overseeing that group. So you can apply to do that. I don't know if there's a prize or anything, but anyway, I managed to do my homework for March and I'm loving this. It's on 40 count Tabby Cat lichen, and it was an exact copy this time of what we did in January. So I did this down here, this panel here, this huge tree is so fabulous. I'm stitching this with 103 silks. They come in a fabulous, you put them in the little boxes, and the colours. I love this. I just love all the different yellows and greens and the baby pinks. There are 4 colours in each of these flowers and they're all slightly different. and I'm really enjoying working on this green linen. It's a grey green, but it's definitely a green. And I think this is just going to be so beautiful. It's quite a different colourway to normal. But I think when we do the rusty red house, it will sort of make it look more like the traditional samplers then. But at the moment, it's been lots of pinks and yellows and limey greens. Those birds there are just lime green. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's quite a commitment. So let's see how we go. But I've managed to keep up, I think, with the hardest bit so far. And the 1/1 wording for February was a huge amount of work, but really a lot of fun. And it's looking amazing. Then my next homework, which I took on holiday, I did this on the beach. I think I made a post actually, building a house on sand, which is foolish, isn't it? Now, this is the Stacy Nash Bees and Birds, I always want to say birds and bees, sewing roll. That was a kit that I was very kindly sent by Marie from Swan Bay Fabrics, who's also Stitches with Diamonds, that runs retreats in London. And I had this lovely little bee fob from someone at a retreat, so I put this on here with all these pretty weeks, classic Stacy Nash weeks colours, lots of pinks and dolphin. And the linen for this is Swan Bay Fabrics medium Sanditon. So it's a new colour and it's just perfect. It's obviously in between light, which I've got a huge piece of, and dark, which I've got quite a number of pieces of and I use them for various things. And so this is the medium colour, and this time we did under the bee. So we did the house and the basket, which was perfect for spring stitching. And was it the house that was cattail? Let me have a look, because what have I finished that cattail weeks for? No, it's not. It must have been sanguine. Is it a pale pink? I can't remember now what the... It's linen. It's weeks linen, the house, which is a sort of pinky white. And mine showed up, I think, really beautifully on this colour linen. So this is March, month 3 of the stitch along out of 6. I think we've got 1 or 2 on the bottom, and then there's a month for the little pieces, the little scissor fob and the biscornu, which I can't wait to do. So it is included in the 6-month stitch along timeline. There's you've got time to do the little accessories to go with it, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm keen now, so I'm up to speed this month, and I'm keen to get back to that next month. This is in my beautiful bag, gifted from Kathy Purden, who's from Tasmania, who went to market with her friend that's got a shop in Australia. Isn't it beautiful? Very kindly gifted to me at Swindon this year. And I think Britta got one as well. Then my next homework, and I haven't done my March homework for this, but I always leave this to the end of the month, so I have got progress to show you. This is my stitch along with Rebecca Brigham and Britta and many more of you. GH1857, how could I forget? And this is just beautiful. So Simone from Suedi Day is the designer of this. And I am using all the weeks threads with the legends, which I think is amended. I think there was a change along the way. In my beautiful bag from Sojo B, handmade by Sojo B. She's from Chepstow. This is Sacre Bleu by French General, and I've got the red version as well, and she does the little thread beds with them, which is so useful. Now, my week's threads, and I know people are using silks, they're using the DMC, you can use whatever you prefer, but I just think when you see the week's blues, they are so beautiful. I'm not even sure you need to get the silks, to be honest, because it's deep sea and dolphin and blue jeans and all those stunning colours that Blackbird use for the For the Bird series. And so I did do my February homework after the 13th when I saw you last. So I've got the house started here and the border. So last time I was to there, and this time I've come along, and the house is broken down into 3 months because this is stitched along over 2 years, so it's much more reasonable. So I've done my homework. Luckily the bricks are not filled in, they're just left like that so the linen shows through. So I've done everything for Feb, and now I need to, blimey, I'm running out of time. I need to pick this up probably today then and get the next band on the house, and then there's a roof with like a dormer window in the top for the 3rd month. I think it's over 3 months, the house. I hope so. So this is stitched on, I chose 40 count dark Sanditon by Swan Bay Fabrics, only because my Fibre on a Whim wheat, which it called for, did have like a massive blob of green in it, and I wasn't sure. So this was a similar colour. I just thought I didn't want the green on it. Sometimes the green is great for smaller pieces, and I'll show you in a bit one that is quite green. But for this one, I much preferred the dark Sanditon. It's a linen I just love. You could use it for so many different samplers. It's a little bit like Hemingway by Rachel Needle and Flax. It's, you know, it's useful like that. You can just use it for everything, to be honest. So do go and have a look at Swan Bay Fabrics. And I'm in their linen club. Then, do you remember, I showed you this recently actually, I think it was at the end of last year, because this came up on my whip go. This is in a cute little bag. Like a little, not Mary Jane, what do you call that fabric? Look at the little, it's got a little piece of fabric stuck on there. So this came up for Whitgo already this year, so it's come up twice sort of quite quickly, and I had a doubt about this stitch, but I'm back in love with it again now. So this is D Freitag 1849. This is by Wendy, Needle Art by Wendy. Who I'm pretty sure I've met Wendy at the Attic. We were on the bus going from Sampler Symposium together, or was it Autumn of Abundance? Anyway, I've sat by Wendy on the bus. This is From the Heart Needle Art, and I chose to use the Classic Colourworks option, not the Gloriana Silks. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Gloriana Silks. Is that really bad to say that? But they do fluff up a bit, so I prefer, I love 103s, but I just love Classic Colourworks. But some of the colours in here are unique to this project. So this bright blueberry tart, for example, is in no other project, which is unusual because a lot of the things that I've got in Excel, like a colour, has got 20 different projects assigned to it. But this blueberry tart, it's only this D Freitag sampler that's got it. And this is another one, Blue Moon. It's the only project I've got, and I've got 70 whips and about 400 projects kitted. Blue Moon is another one. It's unique to this project. So they're beautiful colours. I'm surprised they're not used in anything else. But they were looking a little bit odd when I started this. So let me show you. I am stitching on the call for, which is, okay, Weeks Cocoa again, just like Ununice Tankerel, but instead of 36, I'm using 40 to make it a little bit smaller. And last time I had that blueberry tart one in, and I wasn't loving it. I'm going to put the light on because even though it's a beautiful day, if a cloud goes over, I've got no lighting on here. So I had this baby blue on the cocoa, and it was looking a bit bright. So this time I put in the navy blue. Is it corn? I can't remember the colour. Anyway, it's gone in. And I think now that that bright blue's framed, I'm a lot happier with it. I think it looks really pretty. And I put in a few more well, I put in the alphabet. So last time these letters were on their own, and now I've put all in the other colours. I think it's looking a lot nicer. So I'm definitely going to continue with this. I mean, I only pick it up when it's called on Whipco. So it's going to take 20 years, but that's absolutely fine for me. And the joy of opening something when it gets called on Whipco, the surprise of it, you know, and you haven't stitched on it for a year, it's just so much fun. So I do absolutely love Whipco, and I think that's looking a lot better now the navy blue and cream is in round the baby blue. Yeah, so D Freitag, it's such a pretty chart. When you look at it, you know, I mean, I bought it straight away as soon as I saw it. Then my next Whipco homework, I said this, I wasn't really feeling this because it was an autumn stitch and sort of spring was arriving. Oh, it started to rain now. This is Doth, Abound, and I've been stitching this ever since it was released in, oh, maybe not, 2021. No, I haven't been doing it that long. This is in a beautiful Teresa Kogut fabric bag I made myself with the vinyl front and a little needle bed inside. And this is somebody gifted me this lovely pumpkin. Isn't it lovely? Yeah, very kind scissor pull. Can I remember? I can't, that's bad. And these are the gorgeous colours. Look at this. Although, have I got a pea pod? I think, oh, this cracks me up because you know Laura and Brenda. Laura said a couple of episodes ago, mind your pea pod, people, because I don't think she's a big fan of pea pod. But I think it's okay in this autumn stitch with clockwork and cognac and roasted fig. It kind of goes nicely. Beautiful colours, aren't they, together? So I did pull this out and did do a day on it for my Whipco. I think this is for last month because I filmed so early in February. I'm showing you Whipcos for this month and last month. So this was the February one. Even though I did iron the edges, it's got creased up again. I can't remember what I did, but I'm pretty sure I did all the border. So I would have, I think I came up here, didn't I? And finished the border. So the border looks pretty done to me now. So it wouldn't take a huge amount of stitching to finish this piece. And it's so much fun. There's blue stitching in here for the serpent. And that's like Adam and Eve on the checkerboard harlequin roof. Toil o'er the ground till grace doth abound. Yet grace doth abound. Yeah, it's very pretty. I do love it. And like all Paulette's, there's a lot of stitching in it. But actually, it's going to be quite a cute size. This is on, I can never remember this one, 36 count Fox and Rabbit baked clay. It's a beautiful sort of baked clay colour, like a bit pinky maybe, a pinky brown. Not dissimilar to dark Sanditon, but a bit darker. Yeah, just takes those colours. It's perfect for a white house because it does pop. It looks good, doesn't it? So pretty. So I've managed to finish the border. So there's only another 5 years left on Whipco for that one. Then another huge, really ancient whip I've got from Plum Street in this beautiful bag, Kathy Holden, made by Val at Patchwork Paw Prints. I've had this bag for years. I've got two. I've got bigger ones and this cute little size. And I shouldn't be using this because but the chart fits in. So I've kind of crammed the stitching in. This is my Plum Street, a shepherd's song. I want to say I've had this since 2021, maybe. It's a huge amount of stitching in it. I won't show you the threads because there's a multitude of different ones. I'm stitching this on the cord for, which is 40 count Fox and Rabbit hog bristle. And Lisa Abbey, my lovely friend, talking about Flosstubers that have returned. Where's my notepad? Here. Lisa Abbey, I have followed her for years, and I love her Flosstube. She quilts, she does all the things. She's a great thrifter. She finds wonderful treasures for, I don't know, 10 pence, you know, in her local little shops. And she always uses her own colours and is really creative and very thrifty. And anyway, she came back and filmed probably for the first time in a year, maybe. I really missed her, and I always check in to see that she's okay. And she did a fabulous Flosstube recently, and she had finished this stitch. I'm pretty sure she'd finished it. Well, she showed it anyway. And she changed it about because she didn't have the wrought by, or that she'd moved the dog down, I think. And I know Trudy, a True Treasures, has also finished this, and I really need to get on with it. So I did a huge amount of I did about 4 or 5 nights on this. I have finished the bottom now, done all the grass. Anyway, Lisa, bless her, not long after she'd done her Flosstube and I was chatting with her about it, she was taken into hospital to A&E. So Lisa, we're thinking of you and sending our love. I hope you feel better and at home now and are on the mend. I don't know, I haven't asked her obviously what was wrong, but we're thinking of you and praying for you. And actually there are a few other Flosstubers that you really need to keep in your thoughts and prayers. If you're a praying sort, please do. Laurie, textilist, on her last Flosstube, I was really sorry to hear her recent setback in her health journey. And Joanne, the story stitcher that I've shared her Flosstube with you before, she sent me that fabulous book, The Retelling of the Jane Austen in the Appalachian Mountains. You know, Joanne she's so brave and courageous, and she has had a recent setback as well. So please go and watch their Flosstubes and listen to that. It's not my story to tell, but you know, we love you and we're thinking of you, and you're so brave. You're just such an example to us all, Joanne. And there's another couple of Flosstubes actually I was going to mention to you, talking about people coming back. Lisa Abbey. Now Lisa is the original kind of Brenda Gervais stitcher, in that she was the first person I ever saw stitch Summer at Cherry Hill. She was the first person I know that did Brick House, the Brick House sampler. She's got beautiful things finished, and she's just finished this. And also Jules Darling, my lovely friend that I've met twice, once at the Attic and again in Swindon. She's back on Flosstube with a vengeance. She's doing 40 projects for her 40th birthday, which is mad. And she is the first person I saw stitching Hannah Whitaker by Cross Stitch Antiques. And I said to her, what's that project I need? And she had it as an exclusive. I can't remember which retreat she was on. She lives in Europe, I think in Lithuania. She bought me that gorgeous pottery cup made in Lithuania. But I think she was American or living in the States, so she goes back and forth, and she's there quite a lot. And she's finished Hannah Whitaker. She's finished GH 1857 on wheat, fibre on a wing wheat, and it is absolutely stunning. And she's also the one that did Key to My Heart. I've thrown mine away now down there, but she finished the Valentine Heart. I think that's the programme I saw it finished on first. So do go and watch Jules Darling, because she's back now showing progress on her 40 starts for 40th. And then 2 other brand new Flosstubers I found this last month. Actually 3. One is a lady I met, SJ Stitches. Sarah Deer is her name, and I met her up at the Peakside Retreat with Heartstring Samplery. Absolutely lovely, fun girl doing loads of different whips. She knows loads of young stitchers all over the world. So go and watch Sarah Deer. She's SJ Stitches on YouTube. And Wandering Foot Katie, now she's not brand new. She's got 4 or 5 Flosstubes up, but she's got such a fun game going on at the minute. It's called Stitch Madness, and every Friday there's a vote on which of her 2 relatively new charts she should pick. So it's so fun to vote on that. I voted yesterday for Pink Coat Santa. I think it was up against one of the blue flower kind of big things, so I went for Pink Santa, but she's got this great game and she's roped her boyfriends into doing the little mini Instagram stories, so do go and watch Wandering Foot Katie. And then finally, the other one that was new to me is Acts of Stitching, Flosstube 1. I think she might have done her number 2 now as well. Edie from Florida or Orlando. Yeah, Edie, she's got lots and lots of lovely old projects that she's come back to that so many of us often have in our stash, as well as all the new things from market. So there are some new suggestions. Anyway, back to it. So this is my Plum Street A Shepherd Song. And while I'm distracted, I've changed my backdrop. So my Winter Rose Man has come down and my Plum Street 1,000 Hills. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love that stitch. Now that is full of crazy, crazy pea pod. So I did put a little funny thing in at the end when I put my picture, I've got Mind Your Pea Pod, because my trees on there are crazy lime green. But the 1/1 scripture in the middle is, I just love it. And I've got a video somewhere of me showing how I did my 1/1 stitching for that. So if you want to see that project up close, it is somewhere in my Flosstubes. Anyway, back to this. The border's done. The border is done except for the 1/1. I need to put all the little stems, the black stems, to join the white little stitches into the flower. The bottom border, which is mammoth, is done. I've done two or three sheep this time. I've done all the grass, which is Nature Trail, which is why I've got a whole skein finished. The house is finished. So all I need to do now, I'm pretty sure this side's finished, the shepherdess. Look at her. Isn't she cute? So I've got like quilt stars, 1/1 wrought by, I don't know what I'm going to do there. Maybe I won't, will I fit my name in? I'm not sure. And then maybe a big old tree here. Where's the chart? Let's have a look. Yeah, I've got to do this big stalky flower. And then all the writing, of course, which is May goodness and mercy follow thee. It's called A Shepherd's Song because it's based on Psalm 23, written by King David, who was a shepherd and a musician before he became the King of Israel. I mean, love it. And because it's on 40 count, hog bristle, it's not going to be too big to frame. And it is solid stitching. This has taken me 5 years of whip go. I love it. And I'm using all the call for, and because I didn't question anything back then, I'm following it precisely like Paulette did it. I think I'm the only person doing that. Everyone else has sort of adapted it, which I do understand, because that Dalmatian is flying in the air at the minute. Right, next whip go. No, was this whip go? Yes, it was. It was whip go for March. This is in another fabulous Laurie Holt panel bag. This is stitched with her autumn range. It's got the little bird in the corn, I think it's called, lined with the songbird. And this is a Plum Street Palooza episode. So this one is, oh yeah, I went to the Autumn of Abundance retreat at the Attic in October 2023, September 2023, and we were given the lovely fob, the whole kit for this. And I've got a photograph somewhere of me and Paulette. I'll try and fish it out for the next time. And Paulette had the sample of this with her, framed. It's big. And this is called Real Comfort. And it's based on Jane Austen's. But also she has got Proverbs 24, 3-4. Through wisdom is a house builded, and by understanding it is established. And it says on the front, there is nothing like staying home for real comfort. This is a monster stitch. I know Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, she was at that retreat with me. These are all the beautiful colours. And she's finished this. She finished it ages ago. And I started it at the retreat straight away. I would have preferred this to be on 40 count because it is going to be big. But we were given the kit, so you just do as you're told, don't you, when you're given the kit. So I started it there and then. This is on Fox and Rabbit 36 count saltbush, and it's a beautiful saltbush. I've got lots of saltbush, some are more grey. This is a browny grey. One of my saltbushes is quite green actually, one of my more recent ones I picked up from Swindon, but this is just a stunning colour. It's not too dark, and I have now, I think I finished the house. I've just finished the house. I did this on holiday, and I took it to the beach one day, and since I saw you last, okay, I've got this last window to fill in because it's got a light on. So all of these are filled in the same colour, but this window is going to have a little like whiskey or something to make it look like there's a light on in the window. Those little things Paulette does, I just love. So since I saw you last, I've done the roof, but I've filled in everything. All of this. This is swamp water, which is why I've got a whole skein of swamp water used. And I've done the all of the filling in of these tulips. Are they tulips? They look like tulips, don't they? Even though this is an autumn stitch. And so I filled in all of the DMC primrose yellow. I did the green. So all of this now is done. So I'm excited because now I can start on the fiddly, more of the sort of jumping around now. Oh no, I've got all the solid green grass to do. And so I'm going to start to do the leaves. There's a multitude of little leaves and flowers now to be done down here. And then I'll be filling in all the green grass and then all the fiddly counting and that. So loads to do. I did this on the plane flying home. Yeah, because we took off at 5 o'clock, so I had a couple of hours before I slept, and I thought, oh, just quickly, so I started that gorgeous quilt star look, white in the dark brown. Is it caper? Anyway, love this stitch, classical. So look how many massive houses I'm stitching on for Plum Street, and I've been working on this since 2023, so about another 10 years of whip go, I reckon I'll have that one done. Right, next. That's most of my big stitching done for the month. I've been very, very busy, as you can see. And then I did say last time, in this cute patchwork paw print bag by Val with Laurie Holt fabric, I wanted to start my March wordplay, and I got a very pathetic start before I went on holiday. And then I thought, do you know what? This isn't really good for holiday because it's counting, isn't it? And so I thought I needed more filling and things. So I didn't take this with me, so it's kind of stuck where it's at. I made a little start. I did the white sheep and I did the lion and a couple of little daffodils. That was it. But I reckon I could maybe keep it out and see how far I get. And at least I've got a start for next year, haven't I? So this is on 40 count, picture this plus vellum, which I'm doing all my word plays on. And my February one for Valentine's was so lovely. I'm gonna stick with that. So I've cut the vellum down, and let's see how far I can get in the next couple of days in March. So I'll keep that out. And then another one I started, I've been dying to start this in spring for years. And I showed you this last year and never managed to get a start on it because then Market came out. And now, of course, I'm not going to get back to this because I want to start my Market things. This is Penny Spring, one of the prettiest Plum Street charts because of the colours. I just love it. Now the model is stitched on 36 count affogato, and I used my 40 count affogato for Happy Day by Plum Street, which I just finished. So this is affogato and it is on 36. And that's what I did on holiday on the beach. So I did a lot of stitching houses on the beach. I started it and that's as far as I got. And maybe an evening or two last week when I got home. Yeah, definitely I did the lime green watching the MasterChef final. So I did, and I think I did that pink star. So on holiday, I just did the kind of drudgy grey and the roof. the easy bit, and then the counting I started when I got home. But isn't that beautiful? 36 count, fibre on a whim, affogato. Love it. But this is interesting. This is also affogato for my other stitch last year that I wanted to do. Remember Paulette released this last year, Plum Street Rejoice. That's on affogato, and that's my piece cut for that. It looks a lot darker, doesn't it? And this is affogato. So there's something wrong somewhere, isn't there? I know this is 36 count and that's 46, but they're both labelled affogato. So I think I might change that out for something a little bit lighter, because I think the chart looks more like this one. So that's interesting. And Legacy is also a good match. Although it does look, it's definitely got green within that. If you can see it, it's definitely got hints of green. So yeah, that's a dead match for that affogato. Anyway, that's my lovely progress on Penny Spring by Plum Street, which has always been in my wish list, and now I've got to start. So if you start it, I know I'm going to finish it. Then another thing, if I had time, this in terms of plans now, I've moved on to plans. I need to get back to my Spring Swan. That's not very good, Sean. Right, this is in my beautiful little bag I made myself from Brenda Riddle fabric. I just love Brenda's. And my little Chapel View Crafts cake. I always used to have right. That's the book. Jelly Bean. I couldn't remember. It's not Easter Parade. It's Jelly Bean Jubilee. So I have got to do those two. This one in the cup. Definitely going to do her. She's sitting in a jelly bean cup. I've done all the ones on the front and that one. So now I need, and I'm not a big fan of the loopy writing, although I did do the Christmas, the snowball one. I think I did, and I quite liked it. So I might do it just to fill up the dough bowl. I'd like to do one of those. I'm trying to do one every year if I don't finish them all in the year they're released. And the other one I love, I've got all the fabrics kept for the Jelly Bean Jubilee. The other one, I'm struggling to find the picture. Here it is, Spring Swan by Brenda Gervais. And I'm pretty sure this is just vintage country mocha 40 count. And I've done two of the swans. I've done spring and summer. No, I've done autumn and summer as soon as they were released. And then I got I fell behind, didn't do the Christmas one. I think this was the last one released. So I need to get back to it. It's going to be so beautiful. Look at the pastel colours. And I want to do Hoppy Easter, you know, the rabbits in the basket that I got from the lovely chart from Shepherd's Bush that Rika sent me. So I'm really keen to get back to some of these cute spring things in this fabulous Brenda Riddle fabric bag. So that's definitely a little plan. So I'll leave that out. Another plan. Jill from Count On Linens finished one of these and I said, oh, can I join you, and have you got the spring one? Should we start it? I've had this for 6 years. Hands On Design, Came the Spring, House on a Hill. I just love those mattress finishes like that. They're so fun to have about, and they're quite useful as well. So I'm keen to do that. I've got it all kitted up. You get the little strip of wool to put on the top. I've got the pins ready to go. I'm not sure I would use the linen, which is 28 count French lace by Witchelt. Oh no, mine is a 32 count French lace. It's a beautiful colour. So maybe I could do it on 32 count because it means it'll be really easy to make up, and the wool would fit and everything. I don't know, I'll have a think about that. I quite like the colour of that. And then another plan. Now, I really need to get going on this because this was an exclusive at the Portbury retreat in Bristol after Cowslip. Tonya and Stacy, Blackberry Primitives and Stacy Nash, go on to another retreat with all the lovely ladies from America and also Becky from Willow Hair Stitching. They went to Portbury and I went over to meet them for the day, and I managed to get my hands on the chart that they had. It was exclusive. It's called the Mary Rose Sewing Roll and Box Pin Keep. And there's the box. It's beautiful. It was on the lectern in the church. So I've got the kit, and I've shown you this when I bought it, but I haven't started it. And I picked something else to start it instead, and then this kind of got waylaid. I did the Leaping Rabbit sew-in pouch, you know, that was lovely. Now this comes with Gloriana, but it's not silk, it's pashmina, which is, it's like a type of wool. And I'm a bit scared of it, I'm not gonna lie. So here's the kit. I've put the silks onto the little Portbury thread sorter that we had. It came with the little strips, I guess, to do the binding around the edge of the sewing roll. So that's the lovely old linen for that. Cotton, sorry. And here are the silks. So they're already, just from being tucked away for that little while, they're already going a little bit, but they are beautiful. They feel like pashmina. They feel like cashmere wool. So look at the colours, absolutely stunning and very Stacy colours. And then we got the linen and the wadding. And obviously there's 3 or 4 different types of linen in there, I guess, for the lining and the backing and everything. And this, I'm pretty sure, is Fossil. No, it's not. It's Portbury Beige and Clove is the dark one. Portbury Beige is the same as that. So a beautiful dark dusty brown, you know, that'll just, it's very, very dark because there's a fair bit of white stitching on this. So it's going to be stunning. I need to make a start. I've been a bit scared of it, but I'm not going to be scared anymore. And I'll tell you why, because it's about to be released. So you'll be able to buy this kit or chart in April. I saw that Stacey's releasing it. And also this is called Mary Rose. And I lived in Portsmouth for 3 years. And that's where the Mary Rose is. I mean, this is the Henry VIII wooden ship, isn't it, that got sunk, and they had to pull it up from the depths of the ocean and dry it out like in special conditions, you know, for years, and so it's down in Portsmouth, and I should go and see it. So that's all my stitching. Next, embroidery. Wow, the embroidery this month, I can't believe I've got the radiators on and I'm absolutely boiling. I've left the heating on, which is bad. It went cold last night. Right, this is what this looks like. It comes as a subscription each month, and it's called Time for Tea. And so they all come in this beautiful pale pink cardboard. And this month was February's Love Tea, and it came in March, and I just managed to finish it since I came back from holidays. So it takes me about 3 days. So let me read to you first what we've got. This is what it looks like. Just gorgeous. And we had the little label printed for us that Drew puts in the kit. So this is number 2. These were the beautiful colours, and I mean beautiful. You know, these are all DMCs, but look, just so a baby primrose yellow, dusty greens, one of them's missing, the lighter one, because I used it all, and pinks and reds, which we all love. Pink, dusty pinks with a little pop of red, just beautiful. And all this is left. So apart from the one green, which I did use it all, and this is what Nikki said. This embroidery was created for the month of February and St. Valentine's Day, featuring the florals often added to tea for an aphrodisiac effect. Stitch pale pink roses, yellow damiana flowers, and the red berries of ginseng for a delicate romantic blend. So pretty. And there was a little video online by the time I got home to help me get started. And so this is it. Now, I've never stitched roses like this before, but Nikki's just come back from Australia with a very interesting group of ladies that do a lot of slow stitching. I can't remember the name of the shop, but I'm sure you can find out from the stitchery where she was teaching recently. And I know some of the ladies follow me, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of all the stores. I do know the Bobbin Tree. Monique Johnson, who has sent me that beautiful Sandy Gervais Rambling Rose fabric that I couldn't find. She has a shop called the Bobbin Tree and was involved with Inspirations magazine. And Nikki definitely went there because Monique gave her this lovely bag to gift me. And so Nikki, bless her, brought it all the way home from Australia and shipped it to me with this lovely little note from Nikki. They're so kind. So hello to everyone that works at the Bobbin Tree and to Monique and her students. And they, on that retreat that Nikki did in Australia, she taught them this new technique. Now, we've made roses many ways. We've made it with bullion knots, which take a lot of threads and take a long time and a lot of concentration. I love bullion knots, but we did that for the lavender last month. So she wanted to do something different and something a bit more Australian style, which is slow stitching, I think. They're really laid back and into slow stitching Rambling Roses. So this time, all it is a little oval of split stitch that you start with, and then you do another oval around it and you whip it here and there, and then you just do 3 little loops underneath and in split stitch, and then whip them here and there, not all of them so they don't look like solid saucers, but just a bit more slow stitching, if you like. Nikki is just so clever. I mean, to just come up with this, she stitched this live in Australia. And when she was out there with these ladies, that obviously they all inspired each other. And when did I start Nikki's things? 2019, 2018? This is the first time I've ever made a rose that way. And they are addictive. Once you start, they're quick. They're relatively simple. You need to let yourself just go and be mindfully stitching. And I'm going to be doing more of these. I want to do a little one now to put in my meditation book, and maybe do a little... do 3 as a little cluster on a cushion to hang off as a scissor fob, like Nikki and Christy Jones Ray have done. So there we are, stunning roses. Some of them are twisted sideways. They're quite whipped, so they're deep. And then the next thing was to put in the ginseng berries, which they're not French knots, because ginseng berries are, if you look up a berry, they're sort of little ovals. They're not round. So a French knot for the first time actually wouldn't work. So what we did was a seed stitch, and then we whipped it. So it looked like a little sort of tiny mini oval berry, like a little slug. Just perfect. And we did about 5 or 6 of those. I whipped them all to give them texture so they're really standing up. Then the little tiny, what does she call them? I'm not familiar. The little yellow flowers are called Damiana. They are, Damiana. They're just a little pale yellow 5-star flower with a single thread of the amber in the middle to do a tiny French knot. It doesn't want to focus, does it? The French knots are just so sweet. They're really weeny. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so all in all, I tell you what, even when you just had the roses in, it was stunning. But when you build it up layer by layer, and then what always takes the long time is padded satin stitch leaves here and there, and then 3 different greens doing loads of lazy daisies here and there, layering over each other to just build up the texture. So there's lots of lazy daisies. And then, of course, the padded satin stitch teacup filled with some, I did Payne's Grey, but you could just put tea or whatever in the middle. I painted first to give it a bit of space to run. If you did it after, it might bleed into your threads. So I do paint first. And padded, it's triple padded satin stitch. So you go down first, then horizontally, and then your final layer is with the smallest needle you could possibly get to pad it. And then the pink is another layer on the top. So there's probably 4 layers there. But it just makes the cup sort of shine and pop. And if it ever, after iron, I've ironed this to heck and back now, but after ironing, what I haven't done is gone in and just rubbed it, smoothed it down with my nail like Nikki does, but you can get it absolutely perfect. But you pack those in so close together that they lie flat. But isn't that beautiful? So I don't know, I don't want to cut mine down and bond or web it onto a postcard yet, because I like to do all 12 and then decide how I'm going to finish them all together at the same time. So that was this month's Time for Tea, Love Tea. And we can also, we've got the little things so we can either cut it down and sew it on under the saucer. You can do your own on your typewriter. You can put it at the bottom. Yeah, I'll hold on to that. I hope I don't lose it before the end of the year when I make them all up. So that was that. Guess what I haven't had time to start? Oh, man. The heart for the wedding. I've got to, something else I need to leave out to make a start on. I've shown you this many times. It's called the White Garden Embroidery Kit. The colours are stunning, all different whites and beiges. I need to make a start. I'm leaving it out. I'm going to be doing that. So that's my embroidery and my plans. Next, I've only done a tiny bit of quilting since I saw you last. You know I'm working on the Laurie Holt. It's called Farm Fresh because you need Laurie's Farm Girl Vintage Quilt Book 1 and 2, which I had already. And then the new fabric range called Farmer's Daughter. And then you get this book with it. So you have to follow the Farm Girl Vintage on how to make the blocks. But you get the new colour scheme. So it's beautifully illustrated here. For example, here's one of the blocks I did. And so you don't get confused following the old book. This is the new colourway, so it's much easier to know how to cut the fabrics. And this fabric line by Laurie is just beautiful. It is so much fun. Let me show you. So last time I saw you, I had finished the chick. I'm not going to do the embroidery on the eye or the legs until the end. I think I'll do it all in one hit. That's what I normally do. And I did, so that's called, so this was for February. We're doing 5 blocks for February. Baby Chick done. Baking Day done. And these are the 6.5 inch blocks. Some are 6.5 and some are 12.5. So the first 5 that I had to do for February were all 6.5. This is the butter churn block. All different backgrounds. Look at the backgrounds. They're all absolutely gorgeous. This was the canning season block. And of course they look a bit odd because when they're sewn in, you'll lose 1/4 inch off the edge. So then they'll all match the ones in the middle, if that makes sense. And then the last one was Cool Threads. The Cool Threads block, which are the 4 little spools. So there's a lot of sewing in these. So I did all 5 of those for Feb. And now I've got my GH homework. I've got my March blocks for Laurie to do really this weekend. I need to stop talking and get stitching. I did manage to do one for March before I went on holiday, which was called Baked with Love. And this is one of the 12 inch blocks. Look at that. Look at the pie crust. All the tiny little triangles. I'm pretty sure I haven't shared this with you before. So all those mini triangles make it look like pie crust on the pie, and then the oven gloves. And I think we need to embroider a little, sorry, I banged the table. We need to embroider a little kind of oven glove, I think, on there, or some steam. There's something to do on here. So that's a 12.5-inch block. Love it. So I need to get back. I've got 4 more to do now. I've got to do Bright Zinnia, Busy Beehive, Cheerful Tulips, Cold Watermelon, which is so much fun. So I'm excited to get back to that. And I have started to cut out some of the fabrics. Look how pretty they are. Look at this cute little background with the tractors. Oh, everything is just so fun. Look at this one. Just love everything Lottie does. And the other day, I don't know if you all follow Happy Little Stitch Shop. I'm doing this Farmer's Daughter Farm Fresh sew along with Fat Quarter Shop. I bought this kit from Count on Linens with Jill and her sister Kimmy, and we're stitching along together with our own little agenda. So we're going to do 5 blocks a month instead of 5 a week, because we just can't keep up with that, and already I'm behind. But also I did see Laurie introducing her next fabric range, which is all about family reunion, family gatherings, going on caravan holidays. And it looked so much fun. And she did a live on Happy Little Stitch Shop's YouTube, who I always follow, because when Laurie goes on their live, she goes on Fat Quarter Shop and shares all her new fabric ranges, but she also goes on Happy Little Stitch Shop. And it was a really long video. It was like 2 hours just of listening to Laurie giving all the story of the inspiration behind each of her fabric ranges, and they're just amazing. So that was a lot of fun the other night. You go and have a look. Yeah, so the Farm Fresh Sew Along is so much fun. And I have got the Quilted Farm Girl kit as well, which I bought from Fat Quarter Shop. So I need to really find some time to get back to that. So that's my quilting. What's next? Right, next we got Happy Mail. So since I saw you one of my friends in the Fat Quarter Stitch Along for Vice Versa, because you know they sent me that kit, and I really need, now I'm home, to try and make up a few more blocks because I've only made 2. I'm not brilliant at the Vice Versa quilt. It's quite hard, but it's so much fun, and I've got all the fabrics, so I can't wait to get back to that. But one of my lovely friends, who's a very talented quilter, she's been sewing for 20 years, and I met her through the Vice Versa quilt along on the Fat Quarter Shop forum. She's called Susan, the Felted Pear. Now, all you quilters will know Susan. She so kindly came to London with her daughter. She lives in Southern California. She came over with her daughter to look at universities. And while she was here, she posted me these project bags. She sent me this gorgeous card and a lovely tail, and we've made friends, and she's willing to help me if I ever get stuck. And she made these out of her own favourite Tilda fabrics, and so I can use this for some of my 103s for one of my projects. Look at the crosshatch quilting, tiny, like 1/2-inch little quilts on the front and back, just beautiful. There's her little label. And this one, so pretty. Look at it, it's lined. Can you see the crosshatch there? The quilting. So kind of her to send me that. So thank you so much, Susan. And she's the Felted Pear on Instagram, and I think it says, right, TFP, the Felted Pear. I'm not sure if she sells her project bags, but she did so kindly think of me and send me one when she was in London. So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Susan. And then I've got quite a bit of haul I was going to share with you. So the first thing you know, every month I'm in my Fabric of the Month club with Swan Bay Fabrics, and it comes bi-monthly, which is perfect. And for February, we had this, I get the 40 count, and I get a fat half, I think I've got, 36 by 27 of this fabulous grey. Now what she does is she sets a little like competition thing, and if you want to enter the competition, to nominate a name. So I think I said Willoughby for this one, but do go and have a look at Swan Bay Fabric. So it's unnamed at the moment, but it will have a name. And the one from last time, I can't remember, it was one of the Jane Austen characters that it wasn't Willoughby, it was another name anyway, that we got. That linen was stunning as well. So the reason that she dyed this colour was the inspiration was the vibrancy of French samplers. So she had in mind to dye this with a cool toned blue background to take the bright pinks, blues and greens of, for example, Reflet de Soie, these type of samplers. And that is so true. These type of Reflet de Soie would look amazing on this bluey, cool grey linen. So I'm going to keep this in my fabulous pile of Swan Bay fabric linens, and I can't wait. Now, another club I've just joined, I think Carol Saltbox tipped me over the edge. I so didn't need it, but I signed up. I found this on Etsy. So it's Tammy Black, who is Scattered Seed Samplings. Have I ever stitched one of her Easter bunnies? No, I haven't. I'm going to be stitching Smoky Bunny one day. But I've signed up now for her quarterly club, which I've always loved. And this time it's Key to My Heart Pinky. And she sends you everything. So the fabric to make it up, the threads, the needle, the instructions, and the little charm. So I'm really excited to start collecting these. I have, oh, I put it away. I have at the attic got another beautiful, very long one, a pinky from Tammy, from Scattered Seed Samplers. So I kind of feel I need to make that first before I start these. So I've joined the club. I'm going to have 4 of these a year. And the good news was this came, and because of the amazing way that Tammy had filled in the paperwork, this was not liable to customs because it came as a chart and a kit. I think is the amount, isn't it? It was under the... So just to reassure you, I didn't need to pay customs if that's something that you worry about, because I know I do. Then another thing I managed to get, I stayed up, well, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, twice, 2 weeks running, to sign up for the new colourway Cohanas. This was called Grape, which I thought was really pretty. Now, they did send me an email to say that the colour needs to develop because of the enamel and the weather that they've had in Japan. It didn't colour to the brightness that it normally does. So they suggested leaving it out to sort of for the weather and the moisture to start to brighten it up a little bit. Look at the grapes. I love them as they are, to be honest. Yes, they're a dull purple, but I think they're stunning. I mean, it's a shame they're in the old brown things because I much prefer the cream leather. But look, aren't they beautiful? So I did manage to get 2 of these, one for me and Britta, because if you buy 2 at a time, you don't get customs. But if you buy 3 at a time, you do. Ask me how I know. So I managed to snap one of those for myself, and that arrived literally the middle of February after I filmed the last time. And then the ones that I ordered months before, the purple ones, was the blue ones, and they arrived recently. So it comes in a box like this, and apparently these boxes are quite good for putting your 103 silks in. So if you've only got 5 or 6 for a project, they'll fit in here. And these are the blue ones, and the same email. So the gorgeous cover, the same email about the colour. They're quite a, they're not a baby blue. They're a sort of sea greeny blue. I love them anyway. But if you leave them out, they will brighten according to Cohana. So they're quite grey, aren't they? But they will go a brighter blue if they're left out to absorb moisture and weather a bit, which is no problem here in the UK. So, although we've had beautiful weather, the tulips, I wish I could turn the camera and show you my tulips in the pots. They are absolutely spectacular. I've spent 2 days gardening my life out, and yeah, I was feeling it, really feeling it. I'm obviously very unfit. so that was a little bit of sort of clubs and haul. And then I've got my market haul. Oh golly, I've got so much to show you. Right, okay. So let me start with so this is my haul from market. You know Sue at Peakside. How are we doing? Oh dear, 1 hour, 40 minutes. First thing I get every year, I don't know why, because I've never stitched one up, is my individual Prairie Schooler charts. Always get those. 'Tis the season. He's so cute. I just like to get those. So I got that. Next, one of my favourite things I saw was Silver Creek Sampler, Banner of Benevolence. I just love everything about that. Every word on there I kind of agree with. I love the way it's stitched on old gold linen by Fibre on a Whim, and the red, white and blue wording sort of makes up the flag. I just love it. So I got that. That was one of the first things I ordered. And this is stitched on 18 count Ada, but I obviously picked a linen, and I know I've got a Jodie Cedar River linen gold colour. Is it sepia? No, it might be the other one actually, because there are gold stars all the way around the edge, so you do need that thread to show. So I did pick up a little tiny bit of Fibre on a Whim Hazelwood. I'm not sure if it's a new colour or not, but it looked very goldy online, and it might work for the gold thread. I just thought it was a really good match for this chart. So I'll be doing it does look good. So I'll be doing a little floss toss on that later. And I've started to sort of kit things up. The next market thing that I chose that I do want to start with Thy Needle and Thread was Buy with Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Javeet. I just love that. It's stitched on Legacy linen by Picture This Plus, which I've got. I'll hopefully have a piece of 40 count and make a little start on that this year. I would like to get a couple of stitches on that this year. Another Brenda I got was Quaker Snippets, because I've got them all so far. I've got the boards from Chantel's 141, who I've started following on Flosstube. I just love her Flosstubes. You learn so much from her, and I love all the whips that she's got. This is stitched on 40 count Moonstone by Fibre on a Whim. This is what Moonstone looks like. A little bit less grey when it arrived than I thought. So this is 40 count Moonstone. I'm not sure whether I'd go greyer. I don't know. I'll put the threads on it and see. It is grey. It's looking more, yeah, it is grey if I pull it back. It goes gold under the light, but it is grey. But not as grey as it's showing on the picture. I probably could use that, couldn't I? So that's another one kitted. This one, when I saw Brenda Gervais posting for her granddaughter in hospital, and you know, in recovering after some treatments, I don't know what had happened, but she dedicated this chart to her lovely new baby granddaughter called Grace, and so I had to get it. And I just thought, what a fabulous Easter stitch. Look at that. Very Welsh, a little white chapel and sheep on the grass. Just love that. This is stitched on Cappuccino, which I don't have, but I'll find one of my linens to match that. Actually, do you know what matched brilliantly? The brand new Fox and Rabbit linen that I managed to get from Peakside called Tuscan Path, 40 count. When I put that against it, I thought that was an amazing match. It is in person, very close to the chart. Might consider that, or I might keep that for a bigger sampler and use something with a little hint of pink in that. Next thing I bought, Animal Cracker Olive. I had to get olive. I just love geese. I've got a big China goose somewhere in the attic that I need to pull down because geese are everywhere. Geese are really in. They're in quilting big time. They're in old vintage things everyone's collecting, and now they're in cross stitch. We've got geese everywhere. And then I had to get Pip because, you know, we call Phil, my husband Pip, and the kids call him Pips, and Karen calls him Pips. So I had to get Pip and the Cottage sewing book. And last year, as soon as the hedgehog pink pear with the little hedgehog inside was released, like that was the first thing I stitched. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The first thing I stitched, I forgot to show you, last year was this fabulous Coco's Garden by Teresa Kogut. I stitched this with Moira, my friend from Northumberland, Moira Ging, and we stitched this together. Moira, have you finished yours up? We followed it exactly like Stacy said, with the seam ribbon. I did mine. I couldn't get the call for linen, so I think I just used Picture This Plus Legacy, 36 count, all the coloured threads, and I stitched this in a rooftop bar in London on the morning of Harriet's and Cam's engagement party that night, in the sun with a pint, and I loved it. And I stuffed it with dried flowers. I've lined it, I backed it with Amiably True fabric from Nikki's Stitchery, because I did a couple of the cartonnage boxes with this fabric by Sharon Chris Silver, my lovely friend from America, Georgia. And I lined it with Laurie Holt's, one of her little fabrics there. Love that. Love everything Teresa does. I didn't get some of the new Teresa charts. Do you know what? The truth was I got so overwhelmed with the choice that I couldn't choose. So I'm going to wait and see which Teresa books, because I wanted to get the Winter Friends, but I also wanted to get some of the sampler books as well. So I've yet to order my Teresa charts. I'd love to join her Patreon, but I'm kind of not letting myself do any Patreons, because how could you possibly choose? Next one I got was Plum Street. This is one of the first ones I saw and ordered, and there are some unique colours in here, so I ordered that. And I think I've got Donny Madison upstairs by Needle and Flax. So mine's much grayer than that, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I love that. I love everything Pauletta, so I will be stitching that. I did, of course, get Freedom Flock. I just love that. And that is stitched on Hazelwood, which is the same colour. Where's my Hazelwood? Yeah, Hazelwood is the one that I was going to do Banner of Benevolence on, because I don't think it looks anything like the finished stitch there. So I'm more likely to use the other half of my Moonstone, Fibre on a Whim, Hazelwood. Love that stitch. So I have to do that. Then I ordered, I've always loved this, Hands On Design, This Bee's Got Knees. I missed that at Christmas, Lindy Stitches, Christmas, oh, I forgot, you know what I mean, don't you? The Christmas event, the Christmas market. Anyway, that was released there, and I don't know, I just didn't manage to get it, so I'm excited to get that. And I don't think it would be too difficult to stitch up, although it is on 32 count mushroom like mocha, the same as this vibe. I just love mattress finishes like that, so that's one to do. Next, Heartstring Samplery, based on that old strawberry sampler. She's got some finishes, how to make the strawberry on Aztec Red, how to make that gorgeous strawberry mattress finish on Dove, 36 count Weeks Dove. Very pretty and slightly different finish again. I love everything that Heartstring Samplery does. So I'll be doing that. And then Beth Twist also designed this, had to get it. Have I finished the first two? No, but I just thought this book was so beautiful. So Beth did His Eyes on the Sparrow. Then she did Consider the Lilies, which I'm about a quarter of the way through. I must share that with you actually. I don't think I've shared it ever on a Flosstube, I'm not sure. I haven't stitched on that for over a year. I'm waiting for it to come up on Whipco. And this one is stunning. It's stitched on Cedar River Linen Overcast. The model was on 28 count. I would do it on 40. And I've got the linen and I've got most of the threads, I think, because it's classic colourworks. And this is All Things Wise and Wonderful. Just beautiful. Huge amount of stitching, but the swan in the middle. So that was that. Then, of course, I had to get Blackbird Designs. I picked this up. I think it only came yesterday. It wasn't at market. It came slightly after for us. So this is, oh, and this is stitched, the model was stitched by my lovely friend, Stacey Walker. Now, she's often a model stitcher for Blackbird Designs, and she did the incredible finish, all as one piece, which if I'm going to do it, that's what I'm going to do. She stitched it on 36 count, picture this, plus Heartland. And Alma has written a beautiful note on the final one. Well, let me tell you, these 9 samplers were very easy to stitch individually. What's wonderful about this is that the borders are all in there, right? So you just need to leave a space of 4 stitches, 8 threads between each piece. You don't need to calculate how to do the border yourself, like on For the Birds, where I'm having to sort of manually work out how to do my border. This is all built in, so it's very, very easy to stitch. Alma celebrated her father's side of the family dates because she'd already done her mother's side. So it's a lovely story inside the book. But Stacey had stitched them all on Heartland, and the bird in the centre, that huge bird, which looks a bit like the Hands Across the Sea chart that Laura did for her 60th. I've forgotten what the chart was called now off the top of my head, but it looks very, very similar, doesn't it? Very similar bird. It's Welsh for sure. It's taken from a Welsh sampler that Alma owns, and this bird is a very popular motif in Carmarthen, which is, you know, just down the M4. I mean, you know, my mother farmed not that far west of Carmarthen, so this is calling to me, and it says remember me. I would dedicate that middle square definitely to my granny's farm and to my mum. So Alma's antique was from Carmarthen of Wales. It was stitched in 1843 by Sarah Ann Hughes. Well, Hughes is a wonderful Welsh name. A lot of our school teachers were Hughes, Mrs. Hughes. The flower bouquet held by the bird made it perfect for the Remember Me block and the title of this publication. So what a story. This is speaking to me. And also, Alma was so wonderful in that she said that Stacey stitched the houses quite different. So for example, all the side boards of the houses are stitched going up and down vertically, and the fronts horizontally. It gives it more of like a salt bush, a salt box vibe, and it's like a clapboard house. So that's how Stacey stitched all the houses, and Alma is saying it just looks quite different to her finishes of them individually in the book. So she says, please stitch it Stacey's way. Isn't that, I mean, just so lovely. Anyway, I am excited about that book. Should I finish For the Birds first? Of course I should, but I don't know. Anyway, and For the Birds has just got called again for Whitgo for April, because I saw Anne-Marie does stuff. Just called the numbers. What's next? Right, next I got the Lilac Heart Kit, because I kind of collect these now. And the stunning, look at that hydrangea or lilac fabric on the back. Had to get that. So Sue got us that. Then I got my favourite at last released after Jules Darling finished this. I've been waiting for this to come out. Hannah Whitaker, 1821, Ackworth style Quaker sampler with the swan in the middle. And this is stitched on Seraphim antique lace. And I haven't got any left, but I am pretty sure that quite a few of the linens I've got would work for this. So I've just started to think about ordering the 103s because I've got quite a few in my stash already, and I don't think it would cost me too much to add on the ones that are missing. So what a fabulous story is on the back of this chart. And then another Quaker style that was called to me as soon as I saw it was this beautiful Rachel Moxham, again with the swan. And there aren't too many colours in this. This is by Old Willow Stitchery. And do you know, I've forgotten the lady's name because who's Old Willow Stitchery? Rachel Moxham is the girl. Does it not say? Because I did drop her an email. Oh, that's bad, Sean. I can't remember the lovely lady's name. Anyway, she's got a website with a photograph up, and she's been stitching for a long time, and she does reproduction samplers on her website. Anyway, I think I ordered this through Peakside in the end, but what I loved about Rachel Moxham is that she lived in the little town of Melksham, which is only in Wiltshire on the River Avon, not that far from Bath, where I lived for all those years and met Phil. And her birth was recorded by the monthly meeting of Wiltshire, Slaughterford. And her father was a bellows maker, John. And she seemed to have remained single and died in 1868. She's dedicated this to someone. I mean, her mother was Jane, her father was John, and her brother also began with a J. Oh, John as well. They all attended Ackworth, the children. So I don't know why it called to me, and the story was so lovely, and this just being based in Melksham. So I had to get this. It's beautiful. I love it. And then a couple more. I haven't got many of Kitten Stitcher, Teresa vignettes. She's Shakespeare's Peddler. I don't have many of her charts. I've got quite a few actually, and I haven't started them, but I've got A Saviour's Praise, which I love. But I just thought this was lovely, and I love the sentiment. Grant me a cheerful heart, with the hens at the top. Just reminded me of my granny and the farm and the birds and the cherries. I just love that. So I got that. And I also got Peace on Earth, which I have loved from the minute I saw it at that retreat in the US a year or so ago. And she stitched these on natural linen by Edinburgh Linen, you know, Zweigart. So I would probably change mine for something grey, because I don't really like the natural linen. And this one was on flax, which I know I'm not fussed on either. So I'll switch those out for a softer cream and grey. But I love those two. So I need to start to collect the threads. Yeah, so that's what I did for market. I think I got a lot. But when I saw Tara, Sally Stitches, show her haul, I thought, actually, it wasn't so bad. And I did get the little ruler. I nearly forgot to show you. All Things Wise and Wonderful by Beth Twist. Just love her things. So I think I did really well. Now let's finish off with I did do giveaways last time, didn't I? And I drew the winners. So let me call the names. Number one I drew was for the two cross stitch patterns kindly gifted to me from Fat Quarter Shop. So we're coming towards the end of the Seed Packet cross stitch series by It's So Emma. And last time they sent me the pansies and also the Silent Night, which was a Stitch Quarterly kit, which is really pretty when you see it behind Kimberly when it was stitched up. So the winner of number one was Cassandra Comer 5979. So Cassandra, drop me an email please. All the details are down below, periwinklestitcher@gmail.com. The winner of the number two, which was the two fabulous charts that I got, this beautiful Laurie Holt book. I've already bought this, so this was an extra, otherwise I'd be keeping it. This is Great Granny Squares with a few options of different quilts and runners. It's quite heavy. And then Aster Trails by It's So Emma. And this one is stitched up using the Quail Run by Kansas Trouble for Moda Fabrics. And this Quail Run was shown yesterday on the Fat Quarter Shop quilty program yesterday on YouTube, which I watch every time they go live on a Friday afternoon. So that's 1 and 2. Please get in touch with me. The winner of number 2 was VDE Check. VDE Check, or yeah, I think that's how you would say that. Vida Check 851. That's the winner of the quilt charts. And then the winner of number 3 was Jan and Doster, or Janan Doster 2560. Janan Doster, or J and Doster. get in touch with me because you won this fabulous gift box that I get from the Cotton and Twine, also known as Historical Sampler Company. Joanne and Suzanne sent me this fabulous kit with the beautiful Easter colour threads on 32 count linen in this lovely sort of pale beige linen. And this is the chart for the Easter stitch. So if you contact me now, I'll send you this out and you should just have it in time for Easter. So it's Janan Doster 2560. And I've also got the finishing fabric and the little pom-pom trim to go on that. So I'll ship that out straight away if you get in touch with me and drop me an email. And then this time I came back from holiday and I had an amazing box from Fat Quarter Shop. So they gave me these gorgeous little floss drops called Canning Season, because you know Laurie's got an amazing new cross stitch where she's filling all the cans on the shelf and then her quarterly stitch cards will go on the labels so you can pick and choose your favourite. Kimberly started it at Fat Quarter Shop and has already made amazing progress. So I got those. These are available to buy now at Fat Quarter Shop. They sent me Bird Song, which is the lovely new quilt chart by Laurie Holt that I would like to keep, because one day I would love to stitch that. I think it's so pretty. So this is available now, the Birdsong quilt by Laurie, and she has stitched this up using the Denim and Daisy, which is one of the brand new lines coming. And I am going to be joining in with the next one. Now this is a brand new range by Laurie. It's just arrived at Fat Quarter Shop called Berry and Sage, and they're going to be sending me this chart and fabric to make up a table runner, and so I'll be joining in with the Simply Sweet sew along, and this is an extra chart. Then hopefully I'll have one in my kit so I can share this with you. So I'm going to be sharing this today as giveaway number 2, because I already did my Happy Day chart as 1, didn't I? So if you're interested in winning this fabulous Laurie Holt Simply Sweet quilt and pillow sew along chart using Berry and Sage, her new collection, please use the number 2 in your comments and please be a subscriber. And then the last thing that I had was from the Historical Sampler Company. They also have a monthly box that they send me from Cotton and Twine, and this was the box for March. You can still order this gift box or the chart by is it Krishata Gogo? Yes, because she's done 2 foxes and this time it's 2 rabbits for spring. Beautiful chart. I've got photographs at the end because look how they picture everything. So pretty. The chart's full size, Cotton and Twine. So this is still available to buy until the end of March, and I'm going to keep this because I'd really like to stitch this myself. They send you the beautiful little chocolate and tea. They send you a Gisela Graham, look at that decoration with a rusty little trim around his neck. I love Gisela Graham in the East of India bag with beautiful bright threads and the 32 count linen. So I'd love to get a chance to stitch this up, so I'll be keeping that out. And then the Historical Sampler Company, which I will be doing as a giveaway this time. So this will be number 3. This, let me put number 3 on the front there. So this is what was inside the gift box. It comes beautifully wrapped. This is a sew along by Historical Sampler Company, starting on the 2nd of April. So you can buy this now. You can have the gift box option, the kit option, or just the PDF chart. So reasonably priced. It's cheaper than buying a magazine of cross stitch. And you get a hint of what it's going to be. So the hint is on the front here. I haven't opened up the threads inside because I'll do it as a giveaway, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But there's normally a 32 count linen, the threads, and then the lady that won the last one is enjoying it so much, the Fitzrovia spring stitch, that I was sending her the charts on a weekly basis because I think the chart will come out weekly. So I'll be sharing that with you. You'd have to send me your email. And then inside you get the beautiful little chrysanthemum flower thread, wooden thread holder. she sent a big sort of pinky brown colour hoop, a fabulous chocolate lolly for Easter, a pair of scissors, this lovely Gisela Graham matching goose. Everything's about the geese at the minute, and just their very famous historical sampler company needle minders, which are just, look at that, the welly with the tulips in. Just love that. So I probably won't send the scissors and the lolly because they weigh a lot, but I'm happy to send the other things because they're lighter. I can send you this, I can send you this, and the hoop's really heavy, and definitely the kit. So if you would like to be entered for this, please subscribe, please like, let me know what you're stitching on, and use the number 3. So 1 is the cross stitch chart, 2 is the quilt chart, and 3 is this fabulous chart kindly gifted to me by Suzanne and Joanne. So that's it for today, guys. I think I've managed to get through everything. I'm sorry it's a long one again. Next time, I won't have nearly enough time to stitch on anything. So what I'll do, I'll just do Lotty and my whip go and my embroidery. And I'll come back in 2 weeks, just after Easter, and sort of middle of April, and share with you my very small progress. But in the meantime, I hope you're happy and well and enjoying life. I hope the sun's shining in your garden and the tulips are all out. Take care of each other and those that you love. And in the meantime, happy stitching. Bye.